Psychic Dolphin Garage.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode from the Psychic Dolphin Garage. I'm Zach, he, they.
I'm Kelton, he, him.
And happy holidays, Kelton. It is truly the most joyous time of year.
It was. Thanksgiving is finally over. We can put to rest all of the turkey and ham civil war that has wrecked across this place.
Team Ham.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is the South. Everything is Team Ham. And we're also, we graduated in the early aughts, so we're of course Team Epic Bacon Man. Ha 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 ha. The only thing that would be cooler is deep fried turkey wrapped in bacon. Huh? Isn't that something we could do? We could set a small house fire doing that.
You wrap the turkey in bacon, then you dip it in panko breadcrumbs, then you fry it. What if instead of like actually making a turkey, you just took ground turkey and stuffed jalapenos? You just made turkey armadillo eggs.
Again, seems like a better idea than what turkey actually is, because I also understand people are saying like, oh well, actually, if you don't like turkey, your family just doesn't know how to cook. And to that I say, yeah, maybe they don't. So do you just suffer in silence? Do you try to get good at it? When do you have the time to get good and learn about making turkeys? Like, do you practice it once a week, once a year?
What's you happening? Have to cook chickens probably, but then like transfer chicken, like scale it up like to 2x.
You ever try and butterfly a chicken? You crack the chicken's spine in half.
Spatchcock a chicken. I mean, you do it with scissors. You just
Yeah, is that the plan? Gonna also break out surgical gauze to try and perform the most demented version of Food Network ER.
Oh,
no, thank you.
Look. All I'm saying is Costco should really up their game. Instead of selling rotisserie chickens, they should sell rotisserie turkeys.
That would
you want to feed your family for 2 days? Get a rotisserie turkey, rotisserie chicken.
$12.
You want to feed your family for a week? Get a rotisserie turkey. It's $24. It's twice as much as the chicken, but that bitch will feed you for a week.
I could take that, or
your husband can go to can show up at the office with a fucking turkey leg in his bento box. Okay,
one of the Ren Fair style turkey legs. Where
oh
yeah,
are
like, oh Jesus Christ! Which, by the way, the Ren Fair turkey legs are so much bigger than the other turkey legs, which makes me wonder what are the size of those other birds actually, because those are some fucking massive just dinosaur creatures that were.
Look, they're 12-year grandfather turkeys. Okay, the mushrooms are better at Ren Fair. The turkey legs are better at Ren Fair.
Yeah, well, mushrooms and Ren Fair are just better in general. It's a great combo. You really can't go wrong.
Something I saw actually today on TikTok that I'm very upset about.
There
was a couple that got a 2-foot-long corn dog at Ren Fair, Texas.
Really? Man, that seems like a goal, I guess.
Feel like I was too drunk to see somebody carrying 2 feet of corn dog.
Do they double fist it? Is it like
they were sharing it? They were Lady and the Tramping the 2-foot-long corn dog. It was just a log.
Yeah,
and they were just going at it from both ends.
See, I thought that you would maybe like try and stab one end of it and then stab the other end, put it into like a U shape, and then deep fry it and all of that.
Like hook it and then you kind of like set it down. That would make sense. But no, it's like they just dropped this whole log into the fryer.
Kelton, you stupid bitch.
You stupid bitch. You thought that this thing was supposed to be eaten by normal humans. No, it was made for savages, in fact.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the porn star corn dog
the porn dog.
That's great though. I'm very happy.
There's no way to eat the corn dog and maintain your dignity.
I think that's true of pretty much like any phallic food item, right? Like
hot dog, you can
yeah, because everyone looks at Joey Chestnuts and be like, that is a man with dignity and poise. Look at him, a being of grace.
I can eat a hot dog
35 hot dogs down since I started that sentence.
when you can eat a hot dog in 2 bites, I don't feel like you have dignity when you eat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they also bite. Isn't that like part of it that you wet the bread so then you can
You know how
just
big
slide
this
it down?
spoon is?
Yeah. Yeah,
I it,
for
this
the
is a
listeners at home, it is the size of a spoon. It's not like a comical size spoon that Zach has held up.
this is a serving spoon. This is a serving spoon that I'm just eating normal ass soup with,
It's
okay?
a 4 foot bowl that he has attached a tiny handle to and called it a spoon.
Where is the line between spoon and bowl, Kelton? You tell me. Is it a ladle now, technically?
Yeah, I think though that
Uh,
it's I
Speaking
don't
of soup,
know. Oh yeah, okay.
speaking of soup, I've been having to boil my water for the past 2 days,
Hell yeah.
because
Oh, you're in the zone. I didn't
I'm
realize that
in
you
the
were.
zone, baby.
uh, uh,
Because Houston itself, actually, one of our power pump stations lost power for a little bit. The water went below like 20 psi. They did all the tests.
Way to make it all sound super cute about what's happening. Like we
Well,
just lost
this
power
is
for
no,
a
this
little
is
bit.
different. This is different from the it's a little town.
Yeah, yeah. It was not a little
Because
oopsie doodle.
Houston has been under a boil water notice for since Sunday night.
That's great. No,
So
no
I
better
can
way to
shower
have like post Thanksgiving. You can't what? I'm
exactly.
sorry.
I couldn't shower yesterday, so I have to shower tonight.
Yeah, that's
You
the.
know, I was so inconvenienced. It was super difficult. Anyways, in Zavala,
Oh no, I
Texas
couldn't shower today. Oh, I didn't
today,
realize there was a boil water notice. Oh, is that? Yeah, that's why. Yeah,
yeah,
that's the reason.
a town of 700 residents in East Texas have been without safe water for 10 days this month.
This is good. Again, remember we've invaded other countries for less. So help me, G, my people. they they cannot bathe themselves under Joe Brandon's cruel administration.
Yep. So their water system has been bad for years. It worsened this month. They finally got like a boil water notice on November 14th because the water pressure was so low. And then it ended up completely stopping for several days.
Nice,
Schools and businesses shut down. There were
nice.
multiple problems that seemed to like pop all at once. A malfunctioning pump and leaks in several water lines. Uh, the situation in Zavala, Texas is reflective of issues with water supplies statewide as water infrastructure has aged and become increasingly vulnerable while the state's population continues to grow.
When's the last time you think Texas invested in its water infrastructure?
1914, and it was originally to carry more water to the oil derricks that were drilling out in Midland, Texas, I would assume.
That's good. That's always good. I
And it
like
was
to think.
only because of the World War II. Those was World War One. The World War One like bonds that were coming down.
I mean, it's amazing what infrastructure we were able to accomplish and build in this country before we gave women the right to vote. Am I right?
You know,
Am I right,
the best things
fellas?
happen in the U.S. after massive amounts of money are poured into the economy during a war effort, which is why George W. Bush was a failure because he's a coward. He didn't go to all-out war.
Yeah, declaring war on a concept doesn't exactly churn the industrial machine, right?
Exactly. And then he funneled money to his friends in all those, big corporate Boeing, Raytheon, Daniel
Legitimately
J.
imagine
Lewis.
like how pro-war the US would be if every time we went to war everyone got a raise in the minimum wage like by
The
five
minimum wage
dollars
was hiked up. There was massive spending bills that make shiny new infrastructure
You
in
get full
towns.
funding of and benefits packages from your company because they secure massive government contracts that go on. Yeah, that would be
Oh,
insane. That would be
that
I
would
mean,
brainwash
America,
me.
America would
I wouldn't
become
have
Warhammer, is what would
that.
happen. It's like America, we we would find a way to invade space next. We would usher in an era of a flight empire that takes place. The Terran Empire will know no bounds.
That's what it would take, honestly, if they wanted to like put us into space and do like weird weird not like cyberpunk space, but like the expanse space.
Mm-hmm.
Weird
I hear
industrialist
there's
space.
communism out there in space. What? Oh my god, we have to stop it.
Yeah, if you did like weird industrialist like space future, yeah, it would literally take like just an entire country's GDP being turned towards like housing everybody on Earth and then pushing out massive amounts of workers into space at all times.
I can't wait. The Elon Musk designed spacesuits that fling someone out, and only like 1 in 9 people spontaneously combust or implode like a Pop Tart bag that gets crinkled in by a fist. Yeah.
Watching Elon Musk mismanage Twitter, like I know that it's really hard to take down a giant corporation that has like the weight that Twitter has, right? And the money that Twitter has.
But he shows that it's possible, you
If
know?
he manages to take it down, I will be impressed beyond belief
Uh,
because
I'm even
he's
more impressed.
actively he almost has no like corporate advertisers left, right?
Not really. No, I mean it. Like I'm even more impressed, Zach. Though, like I don't mean to step over your point, but he is making Apple to look like the good guys, quote
Uh-huh.
unquote, for
Uh-huh.
Apple having a shitty business practice. But this is going to just boost Apple up as Apple is possibly gearing up towards major media acquisitions like a Warner Bros. Discovery or a Disney or a Netflix or whatever. Like it's insane what he's setting himself up with. Of being like, yeah, well, guess what? We don't want to play ball with you, the company that is on the rise and will probably controlling an even larger quarter of the market soon. We can
And
survive without you.
Apple about to go from a quarter to a third.
It's just like the man is just incompetent. Like I don't understand. Even Wall Street Bets is turning on this motherfucker. Like when they turn on someone for being too much of a terminally online idiot, it's about to go really bad.
I would also argue that Tim Cook probably has more money in the bank than Elon Musk does. I know that Elon Musk is like 300 times richer than Tim Cook, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure.
But as everyone likes to say, it's not about how much money is in the bank, it's about how much they're worth.
Yeah, and I mean to be fair, I
If
will.
Tim Cook, I have a great proposal for you. If you go in and you fully fund fixing the entire water system in Zavala, Texas, you have done more for Texas than Elon Musk will ever do.
It really hurts me to think about this, but imagine if Apple does like decide, like, you know what, we'll
Apple just
actually
starts
take care
buying
of the
small
water
Texas
in Flint.
towns.
Yeah, we'll
Apple
we'll
starts
start doing that.
buying all these small towns and then redoing all of the infrastructure and being like, cool. Yeah, you can live in Apple City 1.
We want all of our Apple stores to have the best water and heating and blah blah blah. Like that, it would become company towns all over again, and people would see it as a massive improvement versus the shit that their local government.
It would be better than the home builders in Texas that build shitty houses and sell them for too much.
Yeah.
If Apple legitimately like had a way to mass produce houses that was very effective, like have you seen those 3D printed houses?
Uh-huh.
If that was like cost effective and made insanely good houses, then Apple could have a legitimate product.
Apple could. I mean, so could we, as a
But then
people and
every
as a
plug in the house would be a
populace.
lightning connector instead of a fucking USB-C.
Oh
So
my god, those
you have to buy
motherfuckers.
accessories for your Apple house.
It's European outlets on top of that. You're like, son of a bitch. A bridge too far, Tim Cook. I can't do this with you.
It's all 210. The whole house is 210. Oh god, that would hurt me inside. It's more efficient. They brought Wozniak back. I know they did that, motherfucker. Engineer my ass.
Let's fucking go.
Kelton, welcome to your week in hell. I know that it has been a week in hell for all of us, but this is your hell especially. You're sitting inside of an office room, no windows to the outside. It's a some sort of, uh, conference room that's inside of the building. Lights overhead, big, really long dry erase board. What's written on it? God knows what. There's probably a dick in the corner somewhere.
Classic
Couldn't
Jerry.
get it off because it hasn't been used in so long that it just fully dried on there. Nobody actually has like the spray for keeping these boards very clean. TV at one end, little coffee station at the other end. Uh, you are on a committee uh, created by Joe Biden to help resolve the conflict between the railroads and the unions. So you've been here since June, and it is now past Thanksgiving.
This is a long time to be stuck in this
It has
room.
been from 4th of July to Thanksgiving that you've been in this room every day. Your fingernails are chewed further down than you could have imagined possible when you first took this assignment. You have not had dental or optical coverage for 6 months.
I'm losing benefits while negotiating.
You're
Cool,
actively
cool, cool.
losing benefits because you're on this, and your pay is definitely not enough for this bullshit. Clearly, standoff style. On one side of the table, there are three railroad executives. The top dogs, the big guns, and on the other side are three railroad workers. These would be union whips, so maybe not necessarily the highest managers, but certainly the most respected men and women who represent these railroad companies.
Got it. Okay, and what's my objective here?
You're holding a paper in front of you with the proposal. There's one big, it's like a pie chart where like everything that they agreed upon is in the bottom, and then there's one that neither of them, like the one says that we won't do it without this, and the other side says we won't do it with this.
Got it. Okay.
And that is of course the paid sick leave extension, which adds 7 days of paid sick leave.
For illnesses and family emergencies, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And also I believe it removes the eligibility requirement for sick leave. You would normally, if you were not sick for more than 4 days, it would not count as sick leave. It would count as personal time.
Okay. All right. So I gotta massage this situation here about what's going on. Let me ask, am I smarter than I am persuasive? Me smart? No, me talk good. No.
You talk good. You're probably a lawyer type, so in this situation I'd say you probably have like a plus 4 to persuasion.
Okay.
Maybe I could see it being you have if this is like the thing that you do, you would have proficiency.
Okay.
So we could say up to like a +8 to persuasion.
Oh my. Okay. No pressure, but with a +8 in certain cases, that would be real bad. All right. I'm gonna want to talk to the union whips first.
Of course.
Going to want to first of all, thank them for their service. Treat them like troops, because that's, I guess, my last negotiation that I was a part of, and so old habits die hard. Even if we're at this table, and again, like you've mentioned, we've been at this table, all of us, for the past 6 months. I still open yet again with thanking them for their service.
You open the morning like you already scalded your tongue with your coffee, so it's not going great.
It's all tingly, burning in the back of my mouth.
Exactly. Yeah. You're thanking them for their service, for working through Thanksgiving, of course.
Yeah.
Because while you've had almost a week off.
Exactly. If you guys had personal time off, I guess you wouldn't have taken that then. That joke didn't go over well. Okay, so
well, look, mister, we're just trying to get this wrapped up before the real Christmas rush strikes, because as you know, trains move a shitload of cargo across the U.S.
I completely understand that, and I do think it's important that we try and strike a deal, get some sense of resolution here done sooner rather than later.
And we really feel like we're requesting the bare minimum.
You're asking for a week,
7 more days of paid leave.
So I mean, but let's try and break that down though, because you're asking for 7 days. Each day is made up of 24 hours, right? So that you're asking for like 168 hours off total, right? That's kind of what the request is.
Well, technically, our maximum work hours each day would be 12 hours. So 12 times 7 would be 96.
Got
84.
Got it. Okay. I mean, I'll take that even. So, if we're talking, 7 times 12 here, like you said, that's 96.
84. Sorry.
84?
84. 7 times 12? Yeah.
Listen, again, I'm very persuasive, but I'm not good at math, apparently. I'm so glad we came to this breakthrough 6 months into this negotiation, because that's a wonderful way to just lop off 12 hours there. They'll be ecstatic when I tell them it's 84, not 96. That's a major concession.
No, actually, that is his 160 hours. We'd like the record to state that it's 160 hours, because there are 24 hours in a day.
All right, so glaring at the one nerd looking trying to capitalize on my error here. So we have 84 hours, and when you break that down into things, what we're looking at is 302,400 seconds, right? So that's the amount of time that we're trying to work with and negotiate around. And let me ask
one of those
you
second CO peoples. We're trying to work with some of the largest railroad companies in the nation that have an important job to keep our economy open.
Absolutely. No one is talking about how important your job is or isn't. In fact, we want you on the job more than you want to be on the job. That's how important we think you are, that we can't afford to have you not working there. So here's my question to you. After 302,400 seconds with your family, wouldn't you feel like you would start to grow tired of them? Maybe you would get bored of them. Maybe you would want to, I don't know, kick back, relax, maybe cruise around for a little bit, maybe cruise like in one specific direction for, like you said, 12 hours on end. Doesn't that sound like a great way to unwind?
One of the second railroad representatives says, sir, respectfully, we love our jobs. We could not be more enthused about getting on the rail, getting on an engine and riding for 12 hours of our shift, and then going to sleep, presumably, and then waking up and doing 12 more hours watching the dials in the engine.
That's wonderful. So you just want to do 12 hours, go to bed, work another 12 hours. I like your attitude. That is, if that's what you want to do and just do that, we can make that happen. Well, we'll get rid of all personal time and sick leave to make sure that you can focus entirely on working 12 hours and being asleep for 12 hours.
No, hang on. All I'm saying is I'd like to do that.
Great. Then, I think we have a deal then.
And then after any amount of time, I feel like would be able to then apply to have paid time off. Or if I got sick while in the middle of such a stint, I would also be allowed to take that time off.
Yeah, I get it. But like when you're sick, how do you spend your time when you're sick?
On the train for 12 hours at a time.
But is there a reason why you don't want to? Like, that seems like a pretty cool thing to do. Like you said, there's nothing you would rather do for 12 hours. So that seems like a great way to pass the time, to get over getting sick, would be just hanging out in a train compartment and driving.
Do you like getting on trains when you're sick?
I am not sure about, can I roll for, I don't know, like a backstory involving a train? Like tragic backstory. Is that something I could see
Yeah, what's your tragic backstory with the train? You can just tell me one.
Okay. My father was killed by a train. His father was killed by a train. His grandfather was killed by a train. There's no love lost between my family and trains, and so I don't want trains to win. That's my character motivation.
Okay. Um Jesus Christ. The railroad hand says, well, my father died because of an illness that he didn't treat, and his father before him died because of an illness that he didn't treat. And so I really feel like whenever I'm sick, I should go get my illness treated by a doctor.
And you know what? I think that that's great. I think that if you have one illness, you should get that treated. So, you know what? 8 hours right there that you can take care of it. But let's talk about like family emergencies here, right? Because you're working 12 hours a day every day, grinding away on those shifts. I mean, are you really going to be the first person your family reaches out to in the case of a family emergency? Like you're on the train. There's only so much you can do.
Well, if my wife is hurt, then there would be nobody else but me.
If your wife gets hurt, that's what the neighbor Jason is there for. He's the one that's hanging out playing catch with your son while you're working. He's the one that'll be there to comfort your wife in the hospital and do all those things that you're not able to do because you are taming the beasts that are these trains.
You think that Jason is spending all that time with my kids?
I do. I think Jason might be spending a little bit more time with your wife, and I think it might be good to give, like, I don't know, a trial of separation an idea. Maybe like you just stay working on the train and let your family do what might be best for them in this troubling time.
Roll persuasion for me. Let's roll d20 and see.
Okay. 12.
+8. That's a dirty 20. uh, 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 this railroad worker kind of goes silent after you say this,
No.
and the second one pipes up and says, "Wait, so you mean to tell me that I've been given too much? I've been given all my time to ride in these trains, and then my children have grown up without me, moved out, gone to college, and now have children of their own, and I barely get to see their children growing up because of this job."
You know what? Yes, I am. And it's a travesty that it happened this way, but I don't think 7 extra days of sick leave would have fixed the issues in your relationship. I think it would have taken a lot more than that. I think that maybe sometimes people meet each other at different seasons of their life. And we just need to live and let go. That's an important thing for us to focus on here with the trains. Trains and relationships are kind of the same when you think about it. There's a lot moving forward in one direction. And although it may take a lot of time to slow things down, and it might be potentially
All
dangerous.
of the CEOs are nodding their heads with you.
Might even be potentially dangerous for the rails to change direction and for you to try and change course. If you choose to do that on your own, you aren't thinking ahead. You have to follow the plan. You need to follow the rails that are ahead of you. And those rails say that you are a worker. You're a wonderful cog in the machine, and you don't need any days off for sick leave because you are feeding the eternal
Because
engine.
we're taking all the days off. All three of the workers stand up and say, "You're right. 7 days isn't enough." As of this moment, we're on strike. We're taking the rest of the year off. You convince them. You convince them that it wasn't enough days. One of the CEOs grabs your hand and says, "Oh my God, it's like you understood. That was the exact problem I had with my ex-wife. We were just, 2 trains in the night."
2 trains passing in the night. I'll train metaphors with these people. I saw myself as more of a freight train carrying all this baggage around with me. And I should have been more of a passenger train carrying people along with me and focusing on the stories that exist inside. Yes, yes.
It
Uh,
actually is the opposite for me and my wife. Like she had all the baggage, and I was a bullet train man. I was just focused.
that's fantastic. I guess I was unfamiliar that rail workers on bullet trains were striking at this time, but I think that's really cool and good for you to remember.
The
Uh,
the union members have left the room, and but you the CEOs are all in here. You open your briefcase to start putting away your papers for the day, and you see the grenade that you have that you have been bringing with you for the past few weeks. And no better time than now.
I am going to roll to try and just casually walk out of the building in shame. I want to see if I can do that.
Do you break? Like if you break, or if you just leave the building? Like a coward.
I just walk out, hopefully
Okay.
without something going off.
Okay.
Oh shit! I rolled a 1.
Oh, that's it's your wisdom saving throw. Without thinking, you pull the pin on the grenade and throw it right into the lap of the CEOs. The negotiations did not go well this time.
Mass chaos exists after the bombing of 3 robber railroad barons.
It was blamed on the union workers, and you have started off the second Pinkerton War against against unionized Americans.
Great, great. Another success for me. And train therapy Johnson. That's my character's name. That's what I. It's a roundup. It's a roundup. Everybody, put your hands up.
There we go. This
the,
week in the news.
Yeah, yeah. We got international news that's taking place right now, Zach. Everyone knows about the China lockdown protests that are happening, and I think I know why there's all of this, anti-lockdown protests that are occurring in China. And no, it's not because I think like there's purposeful extremism that's taking place. I think is because Chinese influencers have popularized posing and acting like American farmers in China, of course. And I think now they're committing to the bit, all of them. I think they're trying to copy other elements of American culture as well. I think that's what's occurring because it's a new trend among Chinese influencers, which is to basically dress up like a farmhand, or with a bunch of hay bales behind you, with letters like "dream" and "day off dreamer" taking place, where people will pose outside of Costco's and try to make it seem like, again, they're living the quintessential American life that's happening. And so I think of all of this as being popularized, they might have also been thinking, well, what else? What else do these corn-fed motherfuckers actually believe in? What's their day-to-day life like? And the answer was sending death threats to PTA members because they feel like their children are being groomed, and also rejecting the vaccine and lockdown measures that are taking place. That's what I think, at least. That's my proposal for what's happening, because it's definitely not a bunch of Chinese teenagers just having fun with an aesthetic that American teenagers have been copying for like 20 years now, at least.
Yeah, I can't imagine that this is just like glorified oh god, like glorified cosplay, instead of being everything has to be a psyop when it's against us.
But it has to be a psyop, Zach. It has to be the thing that's leading things on.
I have to feel like this is an attack against me, because I can't feel any positive feelings anymore because my allergy medication specifically. I blame that for stunting me emotionally and mentally.
Well, here's my question to you though. Like, what's the difference between what these teenagers are doing in China, which is dastardly and evil, and like what every rich kid in the suburbs does? Like what the only difference is like an F-350 at this point.
These are like family photos.
Yeah,
Like
they're doing cute little photos at an obviously staged area, but it's being portrayed as like,
also like some of this is staged, but like the fucking Costco, like that's just a normal ass like place to go. Like, what's the problem?
yeah, I'm not sure exactly. I would imagine
Do they
it's
are there articles like that? Are there articles like this every time I go to a hot pot place and take a picture in front of it, soy facing?
yeah, I think so. I think that that's exactly what's happening. They're like, look at this guy again. You're the largest social media star in China. You just have no
Somehow.
idea.
I just had no clue. My whole life is followed by billions of people.
It's just disgusting American pig eats food again. That's your channel. Like that's
It's true. The almond mom is coming back. It's coming out of me. Me and Megan Fox describing ourselves as sows.
yeah, the hatred for yourself makes you even more adorable to the audience, and they're like,
Oh
"Wow, it's so
no.
relatable."
Oh
Um,
no.
I don't know, like it I don't think what these kids, because again, it's teenagers, like what they're doing is any like more offensive or any more ridiculous than what takes place like when you see Ben Shapiro pretending to shop at Home Depot, or what was that, Tucker Carlson with his what was it, like it was not leather working, maybe it was just a generic carpenter outfit, like where his
He
shop
was he
set
was
up, his
wearing
wood
the
shop.
Tim the Toolman shop. It was like he's wearing like uh the red plaid
Yeah, yeah.
and like Wranglers and boots. Tucker Carlson red plaid shirt. Yeah, yeah. Oh, and
I
he's
just think
like
it's weird that
and he's
Southerners
got
are
like
feeling
the oh
stolen valor.
he's in like a rich dude hunter's lodge set. Oh, and here's the one in the wood shop. Yeah. Rich Dude Hunter's Lodge has like all the deer antlers made into like a big chandelier and a big bookshelf behind him.
Yeah, because if there's one thing real manly men love doing, it's intricate antler artistry.
That's
That's the
definitely yeah, there's nothing manlier than going and finding shed antlers during the off season and then making artwork out of it because it makes you remember the good times you had with the boys while you were all there together. Just the boys, only men in the all together, but like, not
antlers
holding hands or
only,
anything weird,
with
okay?
only the young bucks that were there, just all hanging out in the woods. No notes.
We were we were young, dumb, and full of cum. What? What?
Camaraderie.
That's right. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, the cosplaying continues. Now the latest one in addition to that is Kanye West getting hibachi at a suburban strip mall with Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, what's going on with Kanye? I mean,
Kanye is
like,
running for president. He has
yeah,
Milo as his campaign dude. Has Nick Fuentes doing
I guess like the actual
social
like chief
media
of staff
management,
stuff. Yeah, definitely social media, which is weird to see. But
and he's just like following these two dipshits around. Like he's gonna like this is a we're
they're
building up
bleeding
to
him for
another
money. Like
we're
they're
building up to
absolute.
another Four Seasons situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're just draining him of all funds, like while they can,
That's
because
true. Well, because he's a sugar daddy for him.
yeah,
And that's all that right wing politics has been.
like also look at this ridiculous photo. His fucking shoes. I hate them.
His fucking galoshes.
What is this outfit? It's cowboy boots meets just rain boots,
It's rain boots, yeah. It's just rain boots.
and then
I don't know
this.
why he's wearing them with the outfit, but it's like he's going for cyberpunk, but he's coming off as
I mean, is he
not.
going for cyberpunk? Because he looks like he's going for that guy who hangs out under I-45. like for 3 weeks.
Jesus. The boots are like 8 sizes too big, honestly.
And the weathered, it
Maybe
looks like a toddler carrier.
he's just sensitive about the size of his feet. He just wants to have normal sized feet, Kelton.
I guess so. I mean,
Look,
before
look,
we invest too much in Kanye, let's look
he
up his height.
he jumped off the Tim Pool podcast because Tim Pool offered like the bare minimum like question about the Jewish question.
Oh yeah, because they were saying, they control the media, and they are. And Tim Pool is like, but who is they? Like, who? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Uh-huh. And then Tim Pool's like, no, I would just say it for me. Say it for me.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
I also think is humorous because it's like, okay, but which Jews specifically control the media? Like,
Also, this
give
quote.
me the list of names of actual Jewish people you think control the media, and explain the conglomerates to them, and explain like their voting power and their decision making, their overall influence into like the market sphere. And let's
Yeah, Jerry Seinfeld for sure, for sure.
yes.
You think he's Jewish? He's just from New York.
The Pope, famous Jew, the Pope.
Yeah, I went to Israel and I really thought that those were the people controlling the media in America because the American news outlets only repeat the Israeli side of the story over there.
I would think it is very funny if like Kanye and Hamas team up to just talk
Oh,
about how bad the Jews are
Kanye X
for their
Hamas.
peoples.
God.
Yamas, this Christmas,
Ye
yay, teams up with Hamas.
Yemas.
Yemas. Hey, that could work with Chinese influencers too. Yemas.
Yemas. Do they have like really cool uniforms that they wear? Or they just wear like weirdo BDUs or something?
What does Hamas wear?
Yeah, what does Hamas wear? They just wear like weird military stuff. Be nice, to see, it's the he's the next Hugo Boss.
Hugo Hamas.
Hugo Boss.
Diego
Terrible.
Hamas. Something.
We're gonna have something for this. We'll have something for this maybe for the title. We'll see.
Yeah. No, no, please God, not the title. Why is the episode not published? Well, maybe don't have Hamas in the title. just just a guess. You know how
Jesus.
they get when you
Oh
post
no. First it was Elon, then it was Psychic Dolphin Garage being censored by Apple.
How dare Apple not want that type of title? Huh? It
Uh
would again. I think it would be great if Kanye just thinks of Jew as a term for anyone who is rich and powerful. Like it's interchangeable. Like
it's just more bigoted, but somehow less.
Tim Cook, you you and your protocols of the elders of Zion.
What are the protocols the elders design? I don't know, but they're bad.
It's
It's a
live, laugh,
bad
love over and over again. Is what it is.
That's a bad Key and Peele sketch where the guy just gets stuck and he doesn't know what's going on, but the country song bit where he's
Yep,
like singing it,
yep.
he's like, no, it's just a country song.
It's
Okay.
iconography. It's classic Americana.
Yeah, this isn't fascism or it's not about Jews. It's just iconography about how the rich control everything.
The rich. Yeah,
Wink,
all of
wink.
those rich people. Yeah. It,
Speaking of rich people,
uh,
Texas Governor Greg Abbott addresses how Bitcoin is good.
it's good actually. Hey, Greg Abbott, the political savvy animal that he is, says, in light of all the recent news and events right now surrounding cryptocurrency, now is the time to talk about how Bitcoin will be good, not just for our state, but for our power grid. That other thing that, as it's getting cold, is not getting tested right now whatsoever.
I like that he's just reinforcing like the split of the power grid being this private thing and not a utility. It's the same thing as the school systems we were talking about last week, where that superintendent was talking that bullshit about like, oh, well, there's inefficiencies in the school system as people leave it because we're not filling seats, but it still costs us the same. It's like, well, then clearly you were thinking
You
about
suck at
children's
your job.
education. You're thinking
Yeah.
about children's education in a way that is so wrong that I don't think that there's a way for us to reach a conclusion where I don't punch you in the dick.
Listen, if you think commodifying children and their education is wrong, I don't want to be right. Just, just the sound of a man getting beaten to death with right wing school board approved textbooks
That's right. That's
echoing
right. God.
bulletproof textbooks.
When you view a school as like a big Excel spreadsheet with numbers and children's education as and children's education is like this, I don't know, this thing where you're like manipulating dollar signs and
Running shadow government.
yeah, you're like trying to figure out how to do this shit. Like it's you're being stupid right now.
Almost, sorry, don't want to draw the comparison too soon, but almost like maybe looking at things on a chart and going, well, this is what the usage is in Texas. So that's all we have to prepare for. All we have to do is make sure that we're just good enough for what our usage is. And
But that's
that's
the
it.
thing is that power generation, when it's privatized like this, it turns into a question of usage. It turns into a question of efficiency. Nobody wants to be overproducing power. They want to be producing as little power as possible so they can sell it at the highest dollar.
I love our privatized system. I love it so much.
They weren't punished for the freeze, and so they're allowed to just do that again. They made so much money off of the freeze,
Did you
and
see the study that they
I didn't.
commissioned,
Uh,
Zach? Oh, it's wonderful. It's so great.
it's so
You know,
good, I'm sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
this
yeah,
it
yeah.
was an expansive study. It was incredibly intricate. It cost $600,000 to do this study, Zach.
How does I would have done it for 20?
Just $20. Just that. That's it. But no, these regulators, they spent 600K on a study looking into like market redesign, trying to figure out like, well, what could we try and explore for upgrade purposes? But the study did not consider extreme weather, as in extreme heat or extreme cold. The thing that Texas definitely does not have on either end.
Definitely will not continue to get more of as the northern hemisphere dumps cold air into our state because of changing wind patterns over the US and changing in the jet streams slowly shifting.
The study does not include the extreme cold weather event caused by winter storm. Such analysis is beyond the scope of this study. The study does not also look at the availability of fuel. It's not considered in the analysis as all thermal resources are assumed to have unlimited access to fuel when needed. Woo!
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad that we're definitely taking all factors into consideration when making a business decision about our business.
Yeah, I mean, the reason that this comes
The
up is that it lack of fuel was cited as a major reason for the cause of some blackouts.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and we've definitely talked about all those ironclad agreements that Bitcoin miners have with energy providers so that when energy usage and prices peak, they slowly power down their mining because it costs them too much money to mine during those price peaks.
mhm.
Uh, but it's definitely like not like a handshake agreement and definitely like written in legalese and blood that
Again,
they will do so and not is simply a way for them to try to garner goodwill while also doing nothing actually good. The theory being that they're looking to add about 33,000 more megawatts. Our system right now is 80,000 megawatts. And they're looking to
good.
add about 33,000 more megawatts. That would be great to add to the whole interconnect over the next few years because that would give us a giant buffer in the state to do, to expand our usage and to have, be more prepared for winter storms and summer heat when we have watched California have brownouts for years because of their stupid idiot fucking private power company as well.
It's almost like when using public funds for a private service that then costs even more public funds. That then just maybe we should have public control over that instead of being stuck at the whim of an organization that may or may not consider all of the factors or may or may not make other handshake deals with other private entities that then we, the public, are not made aware of until it's too late or until, not for nothing, another 200 people freeze to death.
I it's the COVID logic. Like China has such a free pass in my mind for having only killed like 5,000. They only have like 5,000 COVID deaths. I wouldn't even say that they killed 5,000 people, but they had like 5,000 COVID deaths, which is a lot. It's a lot of deaths to a stupid disease that it should be really easy to defeat if you take
Yeah,
proper
especially since
precautions.
they made it up.
Huh. Yeah. Sure, Dad. I mean, Elton. But like
Get your
America,
boo hands off of me.
aw, America had 1 million COVID deaths. Like I cannot describe the like magnitude by which China has a pass in my mind.
Yeah, imagine how much of a red wave would have existed without COVID. Huh? Huh? That's going to be
Thank
my new
God.
conspiracy.
You know what? And also China, thank God for killing all those Republicans.
Yes, all those Republican Chinese people. I do wonder how many of the people that died of COVID in China were American expats. Like, it would be hilarious if
It
it
wiped
was
out
like
the expat community in China. R slash China expat is just dead ever since.
there's only like 4 active users left in the subreddit.
Oh God.
Guys.
Yeah, no, but like even the Chinese protests are were like the ones that I heard about were specifically protests against Apple because Apple pays them shitty wages and doesn't take COVID precautions at the Apple factory where they just hire children and kill them.
Yeah, again, Apple, the good guys stateside, because fighting Mr. Muskman, still basically utilizing slavery abroad. So
You wouldn't believe that part of it based off of the coverage by American news, who warns against mass protests that swept the country.
yes, again,
When thousands gathered to vent their anger over the country's tough zero COVID policy. But you know what? We're not here to talk about China's amazing response to COVID.
no
We're here to talk about our shitty response to literally turning the
temperature.
lights on.
Now I'm not might not be one of them big fancy politicians that's able to do anything or control anything, but if I'm trying to mine my cryptocurrency to try and ensure a proper future for my great Lone Star state, I want to make sure my electric power grid system is capable of doing that and putting a priority on that mining instead of, I don't know, providing power and heat to the minorities communities located within my state.
Yeah, you think they just expand the capacity of the system just because that's a good practice. And you certainly would think that they would have like a fund that exists already that like they would already have taken out like bonds to fund such things.
But how are we going to do that if everything comes from property taxes, Zach? How do we do that if it all relies on property taxes and corrupt school boards?
We're gonna send little girls door to door
Oh no.
selling cookies.
Oh no.
And then with all the funds that the Girl Scouts collect, that's gonna fund new equipment.
Honestly, Girl Scout Bitcoin cookies sounds kind of adorable. Like if they're like little cookie versions of whatever
Little
cryptocurrencies.
Satoshi.
Yeah,
It sounds good, doesn't it?
doesn't that sound like adorable? If you're like, oh yeah, I would love to buy some bitcoins, and then not only are you buying the cookies, you're also then buying some actual Bitcoin
That would be
with it. You
interesting. There's
see,
a little bit of Bitcoin in every box.
yeah, yeah,
You save that box for long enough, it'll be worth a shitload of money.
yeah. The cookies
Uh,
won't be worth jack shit, but but the Bitcoin inside
that's true. That's true. Apparently, crypto mining in Texas uses about 2,000 megawatts of power
right now.
right now. And I think my position on cryptocurrency is
Here it comes.
I want you to tell me how much power the entire Visa, American Express, or MasterCard systems use.
Here we go. Okay, get them. Get their asses. Go
I
for it.
think I think that Bitcoin is a good protocol.
Watching the political compass meme shifts go from green to yellow as Zach continues speaking.
Yeah. I think it's a great protocol. I think obviously anybody that's telling you to like invest money in anything is thinking about money incorrectly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a
Mm-hmm.
lot of and I think a lot of people think about money incorrectly. Money is a great measure of the physical inputs that it takes to complete something. Or at least it should be if we treated it like a measure of the physical inputs it takes to do something. If it
But if I
costs
use it as
you
a
X
measure to
amount,
determine if I'm really good at knowing how sports will go,
no. But you can if you want,
okay.
because it does take a lot of brain power to do that. But no. Theoretically, money at its core is like also like a utility of in a sense, right? Like if it costs you X amount of dollars to keep a bakery open, then that's a combination of the raw materials, the electricity, and the labor, and that's a measure of the inputs to produce donuts.
To make our little Girl Scout bakery and Bitcoin mining operation take
I
place.
look, you justify it to sell the cookies, but then you just suck up way more electricity than you think you're ever going to.
Do you think we could like I don't know? We need to find a way to make it appealing
You
to right
bake the
wingers.
cookies in the room with the graphics cards
Oh
because
my
they run so
god,
hot.
you actually might be on a thing. And then you could have like, tilted kilt style girls going out and like going door to door asking if you want to buy cookies. Yeah, no, I could see that.
Yep.
That's a sketcher. That's a broken idea from Firefest if I've ever heard one.
Oh God.
That sounds like something FTX would come up with their pitch meeting.
To get out of to dig themselves out of a hole.
All right, the
Oh
answer is
Jesus. They don't have the
Samoas.
hardware
We
for
all
it.
moved to the Samoan island. No, no, no. We don't move to those islands. No, actual Samoa cookies.
Oh my God. Uh, yeah, they don't have the hardware to dig themselves out of their financial hole.
You have to have
Gee,
hardware to begin with, I think.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, like I even think that Bitcoin itself technically in terms of keeping transactions secure, which is what a blockchain would do, is
What
to
uh what
instead
kind of
of running
transactions?
financial transactions. Think about how much money
Financial transactions for what, Zach? What do
for
people mostly use Bitcoin for these days? What
these
kinds of
days.
financial
I
transactions?
pay for my NordVPN subscription with Bitcoin.
No.
NordVPN.
Opening up my Tor browser as a youth pastor to pay in Bitcoin for
Oh,
certain videos to come
oh
across. Yeah,
no.
yeah. Uh-huh.
That's not what Tor browser is for, technically. Tor browser is a way to get past routing, traditional routing
It's okay.
protocols
It's okay.
into
I
to
I
route
will never
information
be
into
in a
plain.
position where I need to try and find out how that actually works.
That's
So,
fair. That's fair. The Tor browser is cool too, and encryption is cool, but we've moved technologically so fast and yet so slow that we're at a weird point here where like Bitcoin is a good protocol, but it's still people still think about money with the old system where it was either like gold, it's like a precious metal with limited, amount of use,
yeah.
or it's like this ethereal thing that you can just add zeros into ledgers at Visa and you just trade zeros around until everything balances out.
Yes.
But just
That
think about how much money goes into like running servers for Visa and MasterCard. I think every access point that a store has is electricity that is used. Every time that it makes a call, that's data being used on the internet wires. Like there's a shitload of infrastructure that goes into maintaining those, and I bet that uh I bet that if we shut down those big companies, that we would not only have a better financial system, but we would also use way less electricity.
You heard it here first. We are taking the bold stance that credit card companies should not exist.
Bold stance, controversial, I know.
I understand I might lose some listeners with this kind of a statement. But hey, maybe there's a more effective system that could be pursued. That's basically also the message of every single story we cover.
I mean, after so many years, like when you keep saying it like that, you're right. We do boil every story down to, I don't know. Feels like
A
you could do
better
it
world is possible.
better living through science, through chemistry.
We won't get it. We'll die in poverty and sick and
I'll live
broken.
I'll live better through chemistry today. We'll go. Chemistry.
Is that the new app? Is that something that you can download? It's
I
where
don't
you
know,
just
but I like the idea of it.
it's networking, but
I'm
for
gonna go
prescription pain meds.
to do chemistry in my bloodstream real fast. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Oh no, how many moles of was that? I couldn't tell you.
All I know is I feel pretty cool right about now.
Just like you can feel pretty cool if you subscribe to us on Patreon.
Hey, yeah, we got bonus episodes happening there every week. We'll also be doing some answering some questions and looking at the voicemail coming up pretty soon. So be sure and leave us questions over at 512-402-2089. Also, I guess if you want to email things to us, that's psychicdolphingarage@gmail.com. Just do that. Give us 5 stars on iTunes,
Give us some
Spotify.
feedback. Yeah. Get in our mentions on Twitter, follow us,
Tell us
like
you
our
want us to
posts
do
on
more D&D and we'll do it. We're totally not planning on doing more anyways, and we'll just use this to justify our own creative decisions whatsoever.
Kelton is not realizing both. Kelton did not realize how fun and how addicting D&D was, and he's
I'm
definitely
sorry
not in the throes.
I'm so sorry that I was into other hobbies at the time. I wasn't able to be as well-rounded. If only I learned to give up on politicking and fantasy sports earlier, I would have.
Look, I am also overcommitted to D&D, so just turning this podcast into another D&D podcast would be ideal. So please let me do that.
PDG RPG. Let's go. Let's
Oh,
go.
baby. Psychic role-playing game, the PRPG. It almost spells porpoise too if you squint your eyes at it hard enough. Anyways, we're getting out of here, and so are you. We'll see you later.
I'm getting tested for dyslexia. Bye.
Bye.
Amarillo by morning, up